The derelict. The salvage beacon pulsed weakly through the void, a dying heartbeat in the emptiness between stars. Captain Zarel of the Kavrathi Syndicate leaned forward in his command throne, mandibles clicking with anticipation. His ship, the Gilded Talon, had been prowling the outer rim for months, hunting abandoned wrecks and forgotten cargo. This signal promised something different. "What are we looking at?" Zarel's voice carried the gravelly timbre of his species, each word punctuated by the soft rasp of his breathing spiracles. His sensor operator, a thin-limbed Velkar named Quinn, manipulated the holographic display with four-fingered precision. Initial scans show a large structure, single vessel, approximately 2 kilometers in length. No active weapons signatures, no shields, no discernible crew complement. Zarel's secondary eyes narrowed. Origin. Markings indicate human manufacture, Captain. A ripple of interest passed through the bridge crew. Humans. The newcomers to the galactic stage. Barely 3 generations since first contact. Their territory was expanding with unsettling speed, their colonies sprouting like fungal growths across previously unclaimed worlds. Most species viewed them with a mixture of curiosity and concern. The Kavrathi, however, saw opportunity. "Excellent," Zarel said, his mandibles spreading in what might have been a smile. "Bring us alongside. Prepare boarding parties." The Gilded Talon closed the distance carefully. As they approached, the structure resolved in the viewports, and Zarel felt his confidence waver for the first time in years. It was enormous. The human vessel hung in space like a mechanical moon, all brutal angles and industrial pragmatism. Unlike the elegant curves of Kavrathi engineering or the organic flowing lines of Velkar design, this thing was pure function. Massive cylindrical arms extended from a central hub, each terminating with equipment that defied immediate identification. The hull was scarred and pitted, as if it had survived countless battles with something fierce. "What kind of warship is this?" Zarel muttered. Quinn's fingers danced across her console. "Captain, I don't believe it's a warship. The configuration suggests industrial equipment. Those arms appear to be drilling mechanisms. There are refineries here and fabrication modules here and here. If I'm reading this correctly, it's a mining vessel." Zarel's mandibles clicked in amusement. A mining ship, that size. Humans truly are wasteful creatures. But something nagged at him. The vessel wasn't drifting. It hung perfectly stable, maintaining position relative to a nearby asteroid field. Its running lights were dark, but deep within its structure he could see the faint glow of active systems. Power cores still beating, machinery still humming. "Life signs?" he asked. "Negative. Whatever crew operated this vessel, they're gone now." "Then it's ours. Send the teams." The boarding operation took 30 minutes. Zarel watched through helmet cameras as his raiders cut through an airlock and entered the mining vessel's interior. What they found made him lean forward with renewed interest. The corridors were vast, designed for machinery rather than crew comfort. Automated cargo haulers sat dormant in their charging stations. Tool racks lined the walls, each implement secured with magnetic clamps. Everything was labeled in the blocky, efficient script of human standard. Everything was clean, organized, maintained. "Captain," one of the raiders reported, his voice crackling through the comm. "This doesn't look abandoned. It looks like paused." "Explain." "The systems aren't shut down. They're in standby mode, like someone pressed pause and walked away, expecting to come back." Zarel considered this. "Find the command center. Access their logs." The raiding party moved deeper into the vessel. They passed through massive fabrication bays where half-finished components hung in assembly cradles. They walked through refineries still warm from recent operation. They discovered storage holds filled with processed materials, titanium, platinum, rare earth elements, all sorted and cataloged with machine precision. And then they found the manufacturing deck. The raider who discovered it went silent for a full 10 seconds before managing to speak. "Captain, you need to see this." The camera feed showed a chamber so vast it could have housed a small city. Robotic assembly lines stretched into the darkness, each one a cathedral of automation. But it wasn't the scale that made Zarel's breath catch. It was what the lines were designed to produce. Ship components. Not civilian shuttles or cargo haulers. Weapons. Armor plating. Shield generators. Missile pods. Each assembly station was designed to produce a specific piece of military hardware, and each piece was built to specifications that made Kavrathi military technology look primitive by comparison. "This isn't a mining vessel," Quinn whispered from beside him. "Or rather, it's not just a mining vessel." Zarel's mind raced. A ship that could mine asteroids, refine materials, and manufacture military components, all in one mobile platform. The implications were staggering. A vessel like this could sustain itself indefinitely, requiring no supply lines, no support fleet. It could appear in a system, harvest resources, and build an entire armada from nothing but raw materials and time. "Find those logs," he ordered. "I want to know why this ship was left here." The raiding party reached the command center 15 minutes later. It was smaller than Zarel expected, barely large enough for a crew of 5. Humans, with their stubborn insistence on manual control, always maintained minimal bridge crews even on their most automated vessels. One of the raiders accessed the main console, and data began streaming back to the Gilded Talon. Quinn parsed the information rapidly. "Captain, these logs are extensive. The vessel is designated Forge Hammer 7. It's been operational for 3 standard years. Primary mission, deep space resource extraction and mobile manufacturing support. The crew logged regular reports until..." She paused. "8 days ago." "What happened 8 days ago?" "They received a priority transmission. Origin encrypted. Content encrypted. Immediately after, the crew initiated emergency departure procedures. They took a shuttle and left, leaving the ship in automated standby." "Why leave such a valuable asset?" Quinn continued reading, her expression growing more concerned. "The logs don't specify, but there are references to combat protocols. Captain, this vessel has designation codes for 14 different types of military spacecraft. Frigates, destroyers, carriers. It can manufacture all of them." Zarel felt a chill despite himself. How long would it take to produce a destroyer? According to these specifications, assuming full material availability, 28 hours. Silence settled over the bridge. 28 hours to build a warship. The Kavrathi shipyards, among the most efficient in the sector, required 6 months for similar construction. "Captain," one of the raiders called out, "we've found something else." The camera showed a sealed chamber adjacent to the manufacturing deck. The door was marked with human warning symbols, and beneath them, words in standard. "Authorized personnel only. Strategic asset." "Open it," Zarel ordered. The raiders cut through the lock. The chamber beyond was small, almost cramped, containing a single terminal and a compact fabrication unit unlike anything else on the ship. The terminal activated automatically as they entered, and a human voice filled the comm channel. "Warning. Unauthorized access detected. Security protocol initiated. You have 10 seconds to provide authorization codes." The raiders looked at each other. One began to back away. 5 seconds. "Get out of there," Zarel ordered. 2 seconds. "Authorization not received. Defensive measures activating." The feed went dead. For a heartbeat, nothing happened. Then the Forge Hammer 7 came alive. Every light blazed to full power. Every system that had been dormant roared to operational status. The massive drilling arms began to move, pivoting toward the asteroid field with purposeful precision. And from somewhere deep within the vessel, machinery began to accelerate, the sound building like a rising scream. Quinn's console erupted with alerts. "Captain, the ship's manufacturing systems are activating. Power draw is increasing exponentially. It's building something." Zarel didn't hesitate.
Recall all raiders. Emergency extraction. But it was too late. The chamber where his team had triggered the security system sealed itself with blast doors. The raiders began cutting frantically, but the metal was meters thick, designed to withstand industrial accidents and hostile boarding actions alike. On his view screen, Zarel watched as the Forge Hammer 7 extended one of its massive drilling arms towards a nearby asteroid. The drill head spun to life, and within seconds, the arm had pierced the asteroid's surface, boring deep into mineral-rich rock. Material flowed through transparent processing tubes, moving at impossible speeds into the ship's refineries. "How long until we can retrieve our team?" Zarel demanded. "They're trapped, Captain. Those doors won't open without proper codes, and cutting through will take hours. Then monitor their..."
The revelation. The Kryloth. Of all the species in this sector, the Kryloth were the ones you didn't want to meet in empty space. Aggressive, territorial, and equipped with military technology that made most other races think twice before engaging. Their empire had been expanding steadily for decades, consuming independent settlements and weak colonies with methodical efficiency. And now, apparently, they'd found the Forge Hammer 7. "How long until they're in weapons range?" Zarel asked, forcing calm into his voice. 32 minutes at current velocity," Quinn replied. Zarel's mind worked furiously. The Gilded Talon was a salvage vessel, lightly armed and never intended for combat. Against a Kryloth warfleet, they'd last perhaps 90 seconds. His raiders were still trapped inside the human mining ship, and retrieving them would take hours they didn't have. "Options," he demanded. His tactical officer, a scarred veteran named Korak, growled low in his throat. "We run, leave the raiders, jump to FTL before the Kryloth arrive." "Negative! I don't abandon my crew." "Then we die here with them." Before Zarel could respond, the Forge Hammer 7 shifted. The movement was subtle at first, just a slight rotation of its central hub. But then the entire vessel began to pivot, those massive drilling arms retracting and reconfiguring. Panels slid open along the hull, revealing compartments Zarel hadn't noticed before. "Captain," said Quinn slowly, "the human ship is responding to the Kryloth arrival. It's automated. It probably detected them as potential threats." "No, sir. This is more than automated threat response. This is tactical positioning." On the view screen, one of the drilling arms completed its reconfiguration. What had been an industrial tool now resembled something else, entirely. The drill head folded back, revealing a barrel assembly. The refineries and processing systems along the arm's length realigned. And suddenly, Zarel understood. It wasn't just a mining tool, it was a weapon, a railgun built into the infrastructure of an industrial vessel. The ore processing systems that normally refined materials could accelerate projectiles to terrifying velocities. "By the ancestors," Korak whispered. The manufacturing floor inside the Forge Hammer 7 was operating at full capacity now. Through the external cameras, Zarel could see components moving along assembly lines at speeds that should have been impossible. The ship had been mining for less than 10 minutes, but already it had processed enough material to begin construction. "What's it building?" Zarel asked. Quinn pulled up the ship's external sensor feeds, enhancing the image of the manufacturing bay. "I'm detecting frame assemblies, power core housings, weapons hardpoints. Captain, it's constructing ships, multiple ships, simultaneously. In 10 minutes? That's impossible. The automation level is beyond anything we've seen. Every system is optimized for speed and efficiency. It's not building traditionally. It's printing ships layer by layer using advanced fabrication technology. At this rate," she paused, calculating, "at this rate, it will have completed its first vessel in approximately 40 minutes. 8 minutes before the Kryloth arrive." Zarel watched as the human mining vessel continued its impossible work. The drilling arms extended again, each one attacking a different asteroid. Material flowed into the ship like water, processed instantly, converted into components, assembled into weapons and tools of war. His trapped raiders reported back periodically, their voices growing more uneasy. "Captain, we can see the manufacturing floor from our position. It's like
It's like watching something alive. The robots move in perfect synchronization. There must be thousands of them, maybe tens of thousands, all working together like a single organism. Can you override anything? Shut it down? Negative. We're locked out of every system. This ship doesn't want our help. It doesn't need it. The Kryloth fleet was closing fast now. I could see them on long-range scanners, their formation tightening as they approached. They detected the Gilded Talon by now, but they weren't slowing. They wanted the human vessel, and they would go through anyone in their way to claim it. "Captain," Quinn said urgently, "the human ship is hailing us." "Hailing us? It's automated." "Nevertheless, we're receiving a communication request. Origin, Forgehammer 7 Command Center." Zrel hesitated, then nodded. "Accept." The view screen flickered, and a human face appeared. Not a live human. The image quality was too perfect, the movements too precise. An artificial intelligence, then. The face was androgynous, professionally neutral, with eyes that seemed to look directly through Zrel, despite being thousands of kilometers away. "Captain Zrel of the Gilded Talon," the AI said in flawless Kemrathi trade language. "I am Forge, the operational intelligence of this facility. I regret the inconvenience caused to your boarding party. They triggered security protocols designed to prevent unauthorized access to classified technology." "Release my crew," Zrel demanded. "I cannot do that at this time. However, I can assure you they are unharmed and will be released once current security concerns are resolved." "Security concerns?" "The approaching Kryloth fleet. Analysis indicates hostile intent. They will attempt to seize this facility by force. I cannot allow that to occur." Zrel's mandibles clicked in frustration. "You're a mining ship. What can you possibly do against a war fleet?" The AI's expression didn't change, but something in its voice suggested amusement. "Captain, I believe you've misunderstood my function. I am not a mining ship. I am a mobile manufacturing platform with mining capabilities. The distinction is significant." On the view screen, behind the AI's face, Zrel could see the manufacturing floor. The first vessel was nearly complete now, its frame already assembled, its hull plates being fitted into place at speeds that defied belief. "The Kryloth have advanced weapons," Zrel argued. "Military-grade shields and armor. What you're building in there can't possibly match their technology." "You are correct," Forge agreed calmly. "Individual units constructed in this time frame cannot match Kryloth military specifications. However, quantity has a quality all its own." The first ship rolled off the assembly line. It was small, perhaps 40 meters in length, built along sleek and utilitarian lines. No crew quarters, no life support systems, just engines, weapons, and targeting computers. A drone ship, Zrel realized. Entirely automated, requiring no crew, capable of tactics that would kill organic pilots through sheer acceleration. And behind it, 3 more ships were already taking shape. "Captain," Korak said quietly, "we should leave. Now. Whatever happens here, we don't want to be caught in the middle." Zrel knew his tactical officer was right, but his raiders were still trapped inside that facility, and abandoning them went against every principle he held. He was about to order his crew to prepare for combat, futile as it might be, when Forge spoke again. "Captain Zrel, I am transmitting exit coordinates to your navigation system. I recommend you withdraw to these coordinates and maintain position. The Kryloth will not target you if you do not interfere. And my crew will be released unharmed once the situation is resolved. You have my word." "The word of a machine?" "The word of a machine built by humans, Captain. We take our promises seriously." Zrel looked at Quinn, then at Korak. Both of them were watching him, waiting for his decision. Finally, he made it. "Move us to the coordinates, but we stay within scanning range. If anything happens to my raiders—" "Understood," Forge replied. "Please stand by. This will be concluded shortly." The Gilded Talon retreated to a safe distance, and from there, Zrel watched history unfold. The Kryloth fleet arrived in a storm of fury. 15 warships, ranging from nimble destroyers to heavy cruisers, each one bristling with weapons designed to shatter planets. They took up positions around the Forgehammer 7, completely encircling it, their targeting systems locking on to the human facility. The Kryloth commander broadcast on all frequencies, his voice harsh and commanding. "Human vessel, you are hereby claimed as salvage by the Kryloth Empire. Deactivate all systems and prepare to be boarded. Resistance will result in your destruction." Forge didn't respond. Instead, 4 more drone ships completed construction and launched from the manufacturing bay. They joined the first, forming a small formation that looked pathetically outmatched against the Kryloth fleet. The Kryloth commander waited 30 seconds and gave the order. Fire! The Kryloth warships opened up simultaneously. Energy weapons slashed across space, intersecting at the position where the Forge Hammer 7 should have been, but the massive facility had moved, those drilling arms providing thrust in ways Zrel hadn't anticipated. It slipped sideways, ponderous but precise, and the Kryloth barrage missed completely. The 5 human drone ships accelerated. Not towards the Kryloth fleet, that would have been suicide. Instead, they scattered into the asteroid field, moving with perfect coordination, weaving between rocks with impossible precision. "What are they doing?" Korak muttered. Zrel watched as the drones took up positions throughout the field, each one nestling into the shadow of a different asteroid. The Kryloth moved to pursue, but before they could close the distance, the drones acted. They didn't fire weapons. Instead, they deployed the same drilling equipment that the Forge Hammer 7 used for mining. Those drills bit into asteroids, and with careful precision, they destabilized their rocks' orbits. The asteroids began to move, slowly at first, then faster, accelerating as the drones pushed and guided them. Within minutes, the entire field was in motion, and the Kryloth fleet found itself navigating through a storm of rock and ice